Welcome to the Boys Recap plus Gen V. In a world where superheroes exist, Huey, a mundane electric store worker, dates a girl named Robin. But one day, she is accidentally run over by a speedster superhero. His name is A-Train, and he gives a corporate apology. Huey is offered a lump sum to sign an NDA. He thinks on this, and the next day at work he meets Billy Butcher, a soup catcher that brings them to justice. The most popular soups are the Seven. Lamplighter has recently retired, so they need to find a replacement. Starlight. She is introduced to the Deep, her idol, but he sexually assaults her. The leader of the Seven is Homelander, a super strong, flying, laser-eyed American hero. They are led by corporate executive Madeline Stillwell. His relationship with her is a bit unprofessional, in a sense that she is his mother figure, and a little else too. He is also invincible. In secret, he mercilessly slaughters anybody with disregard for life, even shooting down a plane when the mayor blackmails Madeline. Another time, when he let an international flight crash to ensure Vought wouldn't get any blowback for the crash. Huey agrees to Butcher's plan. He agrees to sign the NDA and plants a bug. However, he fumbled with the bug, and Translucent, an invisible superhero, saw him and secretly tries to assassinate him. During this, they manage to incapacitate him, and with the assistance of Billy's friend, Frenchie, they explode his guts all over the walls. With one of the Seven soups down, they recruit MM, or Mother's Milk. The information they got from Translucent's lead led them to Popclaw, A-Train's private girlfriend. They witnessed her and A-Train playing around with Soup Steroid, or Compound V. After accidentally catching her kill the landlord, they blackmail her with this information to figure out where A-Train gets the V. At an underground location, they release a primitive and feral soup. A-Train catches Frenchie on one of the security cameras, so they send him a visitor, one of the Seven. Black Noir goes to dispose of them. However, they are saved by the primitive girl. With fast regenerative abilities, she survives. So now she joins the boys. Huey had met Starlight before everything in the Seven really blew up, so she takes him on a date to the Believe Expo, a Christianity festival to promote soups. And fed up with all the publicity and fake superhero life, she exposes the Deep's essay on live television, resulting in his public apology and departure from the Seven, moving to sad and lonely Ohio. They once again blackmail another person, Ezekiel, the owner of the festival, with a homosexual tape on the line. He reveals that all superheroes were made in a lab. They injected Compound V into babies, giving them the special superpowers. Not knowing the primitive girl well, they use Mesmer, a soup with the abilities to read minds, and figure out that her name is Kamiko, and she was in the Liberation Front, or a major terrorist group. Also making them realize that Vought is trying to get soups into the military by creating soup terrorists of their own to fight against them. They bring this up with the CIA, and just as they are about to shut down Vought, a terrorist soup pops up, so they disband the investigation. Homelander had flew Compound V across the world, building secret soup terrorists, and with only their soups available, Homelander is sent out to deal with it. Billy has a deep vendetta against Homelander, because decades ago when he had a wife named Becca, Homelander had sexually assaulted her and murdered her. Now when Annie is confronted with the truth of her creation, her mother admits that she was birthed in a lab. It turns out that Mesmer ratted them out. They even fight off A-Train before calling an ambulance as he starts to get a heart attack due to all the Compound V he has been abusing. Unable to hurt the soups, Billy straps Madeline with a bomb ready to detonate, but Homelander lasers her body, not having as much attachment as they thought. She was lying to him about Becca. She was never murdered, but Vought found out she was going to give birth and quickly hid her from the world. Realizing his only bargaining chip was gone, he blows up the entire house, yet Homelander saves him to show him his son, Ryan, and that Becca is still alive. Blamed for Madeline Stillwell's death, the boys are all wanted criminals. Homelander let Billy live because they constructed a deal for him to see him if Billy lives. He wants to be a good father because he was made in a lab. Homelander's plan of the soup terrorists succeeded, allowing soups into the military. Starlight is secretly leaking information to the boys. The only person that knows this is A-Train. He is still stuck in a comatose state. Vought are forced to acknowledge Translucent's death, lying about how he was killed overseas fighting a super terrorist. With a vacant spot, they welcome Stormfront, a more popular truth-telling character. The boys discover a super terrorist that has been smuggled into the country. They try to get help from the CIA, but her head explodes, so they take it into their own hands and capture him. However, Kamiko recognizes him as her brother. When she escaped, her brother was made to become the new super terrorist. They want to bring her in, so Grace Mallory of the CIA and creator of the boys can clear their names. The Deep tries to get back in with the Seven after the sexual assault, but he fails and kills a whale. The Seven catches them, and Homelander forces Annie to kill Huey to prove that she isn't a traitor. But the soup terrorist gets free and escapes. Stormfront catches up shortly. She recklessly kills civilians and ends up murdering Kamiko's brother. She now represents the new savior. rescuing America from the super terrorist. Annie leaks Compound V to the media, and a video surfaces of Homelander lasering civilians. Stormfront spins it as photoshopped and CGI, saving Homelander's image. They start to date. The boys get a tip from the CIA about a racist suit named Liberty that killed a man for being black, and the suit had rebranded to Stormfront. She even used to be a fascist Nazi wife. During a shoot, Starlight discovers secretive information on an offshore lab where they try to infuse Compound V with adults. It doesn't really work because the V needs to be combined at a young age. And also, Lamplighter is there. Mallory explains that when they tried to blackmail him, he fled and murdered her grandchildren, one of the many reasons why she left the boys. They break into the facility to try and force Lamplighter to testify against Vought, accidentally releasing all the soups, but Vought had captured Starlight for leaking the Compound V. Huey uses Lamplighter to sneak in and free Starlight, but on the flip side, when they break in, Lamplighter notices his statue missing, and fed up with the guilt, he ignites himself, causing the alarms to go berserk. Annie uses the lights to escape. Black Noir tries to kill Huey, and Queen Maeve saves him. She had all the pent-up guilt with the Seven, and the double life that they tried to live, forced to be open about her private relationship, and Vought using her as a marketing scheme. At the hearing against Vought, they used Chief Officer, their ex-scientist. As he is about to testify, heads start popping left and right, and they cut to commercial break, unable to do anything about it. Annoyed with Becca's overprotectiveness, they take Ryan away. Becca flees the facility to ask Billy for help getting her son back, so he constructs a deal with Stan Edgar, Vought CEO, for them to get Homelander away from Ryan. Also, A-Train got kicked out of the Seven because Stormfront is racist, so he leaks the Nazi photos. Homelander is distracted by Vought soldiers. As Becca and Billy retrieved Ryan, Stormfront arrives, catching up to Becca and almost killing her. Trying to save his mother, Ryan activates his abilities, lasering Stormfront, placing her in a vegetable state. Because Becca was too close to the laser, he inadvertently killed her. Stuck in a standstill against Homelander, Ryan chooses Billy. Queen Maeve saves them once again, using the plane that crashed to blackmail Homelander and let them live. Ryan stays in protective custody with the CIA. The boys are made into a legalized off-the-books soup-catching squad. Cleared of all wrongdoing, they are able to return home. Starlight and Maeve are still in the Seven, and always in a tense situation of what Homelander might do. A-Train also rejoined, now that Stormfront was out. Huey is now working under Victoria Newman in a new soup fighting division. She is secretly the telekinetic soup head exploder. Roughly a year has passed. Stormfront's Nazi past has made it into a movie. Homelander is constantly on the edge about his reputation after dating that one Nazi girl. She is in fact still alive, clinging on to dear life. Huey is now open about dating Starlight and working at the Bureau of Superhuman Affairs. The boys now report to him. They have to follow protocol, regulations, and can't kill any soups willy-nilly. Billy tries to be a good father, visiting Ryan whenever he can. Starlight's popularity has risen, and now she is promoted to co-captain of the Seven. On a night out, Huey accidentally unveils the fact that Newman is the soup head exploder. Diving deeper, he uncovers the fact that she used to live in an orphanage full of soups until she was adopted by Stan Edgar, meaning Vought and Newman had been working together. Stormfront turns up deceased, and on live television, Homelander goes on a tirade about how he is superior to everyone, the famous speech where he breaks character. However, his optics actually went up from this. The public loved him for being himself and real. With this confidence boost, he blackmails Annie that if they leak the plane crash video, he'll go on his villain arc and kill all her little friends, including Huey. So they change their plans to figure out a way to kill Homelander. Billy and Maeve have been discreetly working together for a while now, researching Soldier Boy, one of the first strong and invincible soups that was the leader of Payback. They believe they can use the same weapon that finished him to kill Homelander. She even gives him a new V-24 or Temp V. It gives a person temporary superpowers. So they round up the boys for another chance at Homelander. Soldier Boy was said to have fought in World War II and died in a nuclear reactor meltdown. Billy juices up on V-24 and confronts Soldier Boy's ex-sidekick, Gunpowder, extracting information and killing him with the new superpowers. It led them back to Grace Mallory. They tried to put Soups in the military in an undercover mission decades in the past. The Soups just messed around and revealed the camp. It was bombarded, and during the chaos, Soldier Boy was killed by a Russian super weapon. So they voyaged to Russia through Frenchie's Connect Nina. Just before going in, they juice up. Entering the Russian lab, Billy uses his strength and lasers, while Huey can teleport. Breaking their containment, they uncovered that Soldier Boy is still alive. The radiation now lets him detonate himself like a massive massive bomb, escaping into the wild and able to catch him. They return to America. Starlight recruits Supersonic to the Seven, but Homelander kills him for trying to plot against him, replacing him with the Deep, a loyal follower. Betraying Stan Edgar, Newman launches an investigation into him to protect herself and getting Compound V for her daughter. Edgar is forced to resign and Homelander instates Ashley Barrett, a compliant leader that fears and listens to Homelander. Back in the USA, Soldier Boy admires the new relationships and visits his supposed girlfriend Crimson Countess and exploding her. The boys come up with a deal for him. They will help him assassinate all the Payback members that got him locked up, and he will help them kill Homelander. Next on the list, the TNT twins at a massive orgy party, destroying the massive complex, and Homelander flies by to try and finish them off. But the boys with their new powers and Soldier Boy are about to kill him. He breaks free and flies off. Billy pushes away Ryan, blaming him for the death of Becca, so when Homelander finds him through Newman, he comforts Ryan and explains that it wasn't his fault. Ryan follows him back. After rejoining the Seven, A-Train found out about Blue Hawk and how he had been killing black men to try and stop crime. He gives a public apology that breaks out. In this, he injured A-Train's brother and faces little repercussions, so he takes it into his own hands, murdering Blue Hawk. During this, he faints due to his heart attack. He was revived because they replaced his heart with Blue Hawk's heart, meaning he can run again. The blowout from the fight caused abnormal amounts of innocent lives to be lost, so Starlight takes to social media to try and expose the reality and severity of Soup's powers, Homelander being at the front of this. It creates massive political and statewide uproar for and against Homelander. The next Payback member is Mindstorm. Just before he dies, he reveals that Soldier Boy is Homelander's father, which makes him contemplate killing his own son, but he continues with the mission. Homelander also finds out this revelation through Black Noir, another Payback member, wishing for Homelander to protect him. This revelation just enrages him, so Homelander helps Soldier Boy out. They arrive at the compound juiced up. Homelander shows him his grandson Ryan. He doesn't care and goes on to try and kill him. A fight breaks out, and since Ryan defends Homelander, Soldier Boy tries to execute him too, but Billy can't allow this, so they put their differences aside and all try to stop Soldier Boy. He charges up, and to save them, Queen Maeve tackles him out of the building as he combusts into a massive city-wide shockwave. For saving Ryan, Homelander spares their lives. They commemorate Queen Maeve, but she is actually still alive and flees with her girlfriend. Soldier Boy is still alive, kept in a facility deep underground. The boys go back to their normal lives, including the fact that Newman is their new problem. She is running for vice president, and she traded Ryan's home location so the Deep could murder the vice president, leaving a vacant spot. Homelander finally reveals his son Ryan to the public. When an opposition hurts him, he lasers him in public, and the cult loves it, even MM's ex-wife's boyfriend Todd. We follow Marie Moreau, who after manifesting her blood powers, accidentally killed her parents. She was sent to an orphanage for Soups with powers. Marie worked hard and landed a place at Godolphin University, a university for Soups. On her first day, she confronts Professor Brink on not being in the crime-fighting sector. He dismisses her and places more thought into Golden Boy, a highly talented top prospect for a spot in the Seven. With the ability of a miniature sun, that night, Marie helps stop a man fleeing the soldiers. Andre notices and invites her to hang out with the crew. Kate has mind control and persuasion abilities. Jordan is strong and able to switch between genders. Andre can manipulate metal. When he is flexing his ability to impress a girl, he accidentally slits someone. Using her ability, Marie saves the person's life. In the news coverage, she is blamed for the incident, shielding the others from wrongdoing, and fired from God U. Going to confront Brink about this, she finds out that Golden Boy had already burnt him to a crisp. She flees, and fueled by his guilt, he commits suicide. Marie and Andre are said to be the heroes and savior of the university, being named Guardians of Godolphin. The new crew wants to figure out why Golden Boy was acting so weird, and with some sneaking around, Andre finds the woods, an underground facility that Vought uses to test Soups, to try and create a virus potent enough to make Soups sick. But Dean Shetty wants to create her own deadly virus that will wipe out all the Soups, because the Baltimore plane crash contained her family. The man they helped stop was Sam, Golden Boy's brother. Mary's roommate, Emma or Little Cricket, because she can manipulate her size by eating or expelling food. She sneaks into the woods to try and free Sam, becoming friends and bonding in a run-down arcade. But Sam escapes to try and find the lead scientist, Dr. Edison Cardozo. The others track him there and stop him. They blank out into the next day, forgetting everything that had happened, including Sam. Shortly after, they realize it was Kate at At a young age, she had discovered her power and mistakenly made her brother disappear. Jean of Godolphin Indira Shetty comforted her and used her ever since. She has been manipulated into doing her bidding and erasing memories. Disillusioned, they try to get Newman to expose the virus and the Woods phenomenon, also revealing that she has blood powers. Newman meets up with Dr. Cardoza to retrieve the virus. To disclose of this, she explodes his head. Now knowing the truth, they go on a rampage. Kate forces Dean Shetty to commit suicide as her and Sam enter the woods, freeing all the Supes. They start a massive murdering spree, killing all civilians. Politically, there was always a sentiment against Supes, trying to stop Sam. Andre and him take each other out. With so much blood from the carnage, Marine uses it to stop the Supes, even exploding Kate's hand when she tries to use her ability. As Homelander arrives on the scene, they find relief, but he starts to scold Marie for fighting against other Supes as he lasers them. The four are placed into an unknown prison. The news now reports that Sam and Kate saved Godolphin, spinning it that the four started the rampage. We also get glimpses of Billy finding the Woods. This is where the story ends. Make sure to subscribe, and for more, watch this.